Ahoy mates, Julie here, and welcome to Monday's episode of The Boaters TV. We're going to kick things off here today with a little power play. You know those political viral videos that are going around with the I got a crush on, insert choice presidential candidate name theme? Yeah, well, my version of that, with regard to boating of course, is I, Julie, have got a crush on houseboats. That's right, houseboats. Now they're not a big section of the boating market, but my whole point here is they should be. Of course, houseboats can be found around the globe, and they come in all styles, shapes, and sizes. In Southeast Asia and India, they are most often used as permanent dwellings. You've got the canal narrowboats to either own or rent in the UK. These same style boats are common across Europe, and the most well-known spot there would be Amsterdam. Let me define here exactly the type of houseboats I'm digging. Not that I wouldn't do a narrowboat cruise in the UK, but it's the kind that are motorized, pontoon, or full hull-based, as opposed to those that are non-motorized and moored in one spot, and that serve more frequently as secondary or vacation homes or for tourism. This style of houseboat is becoming increasingly popular in Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, especially as a holiday activity. Houseboating is also becoming more popular as a recreational activity for Americans, where groups of people of all ages are discovering houseboats of all varieties, ranging from more modest 30 to 40-foot boats all the way up to 70 and even 100-foot plus luxury houseboat models, the most luxurious having up to 3 levels, where you can expect amenities equal to a very posh hotel, such as hot tubs, big screen TVs, deluxe accommodations in private staterooms, and get this, fireplaces. These types of houseboats accommodate from 4 to 15 or more people, so it's very common to split the cost of a houseboat vacation up between multiple families or groups, and they are most commonly used on freshwater lakes and rivers. Kentucky's Lake Cumberland is considered the birthplace of houseboating in the U.S., and it's a definite mecca for such watercraft. Other popular spots are Dale Hollow and Center Hill Lakes in Tennessee, Lake Lanier in Georgia, Utah's Lake Powell, Lake Mead outside Las Vegas, Arizona's Lake Havasu, and Lake Amistad in Texas. Northern California has over a dozen prime houseboating lakes, the largest and most popular being Lake Shasta. As far as buying trends go, houseboats are becoming increasingly popular among baby boomers who have the money and time to enjoy them, and many are opting to buy houseboats instead of RVs. Many people are also buying timeshares in houseboats, and of course you can always rent them out for a week or two, such as all those spring breakers on Lake Havasu that we talked about in our last episode. To houseboat or not to houseboat? For me, there's no question. I've got a crush on houseboats. Next up, from boats that humans can live on to ones that humans must power, it's on to our Ship of Fools segment. New metallurgy, that's the engineering of metals, technology, and the application of advanced physics has allowed for the creation of the new Hydroslider. Also known as the AquaSkipper, this is a human-powered hydrofoil made by Inventus.com. These contraptions are also called hull-less watercraft and flapping wing propulsion vessels. The word bouncing seems to be a bit more of an appropriate adjective to me, as this thing is like a pogo stick for the water. I wanted to learn more, and a Google search came up with this how-to video on how to, quote, fly a human-powered hydrofoil, found on makezine.com. Propelled by your jumping up and down and pumping your arms to make the wing fly and propel you, the Hydroslider slides along the water's surface at an average speed of 7 to 9 miles per hour. Watch here as our video instructor, Tim Anderson, shows us how to operate one, or how not to operate one. Marketing literature on this product has discussed the Hydroslider as theoretically a mode of transportation. Unless, of course, you are this guy, and then you're not going to go anywhere except maybe back to the dock to try again. And again. Now hang on a second. While our friends at MakeZine make the product look utterly ridiculous and impossible to master, one distributor of this human hydrofoil, Jeff at hydrosliders.com, leaves us with quite a different impression. And he's my new marketing hero. Jeff has taken this same product and not only made it look fun, but, well, appealing for several reasons, like as a spectator sport. I can't help but think that someone needs to also market this as an exercise machine. If I can expect those kinds of results, I'll take 2 of them. If you're interested in purchasing one of these human-powered hydrofoils, you've got to buy one through Jeff's site, as I think his marketing efforts have earned your business. Visit www.hydrosliders.com to pay homage. Jeff's Hydrosliders retail for $500 before shipping. And finally today, it's on to our Ship's Domain segment, where we normally discuss other boating websites. But today, we talk about the Boaters TV. Allow us to spell it out for you. For those of you who tune into the Boaters TV on a regular basis, all of you, I'm sure, you're aware that each episode since day one has been brought to you by a letter and its accompanying word from the NATO phonetic alphabet, which is used, by the way, to ensure intelligibility of voice signals over radio links, used by NATO and the International Maritime Organization, and most skilled telemarketers, if there is such a thing. We've also presented you with the flag, which represents that letter in the International Code of Signals, or Interco, and its associated message. The Interco, by the way, is a signal code to be used by merchant and naval vessels to communicate important messages about the state of a vessel and the intent of its master of commander when there are language barriers. Some early critics of our show thought our efforts to be silly. I received one piece of feedback calling it Sesame Street, which is cool. I can take the criticism. My imaginary friend, Mr. Snuffleupagus, on the other hand, he wasn't so forgiving. What? Did you see that? I told you guys! Anyhow, all that aside, you, the Boaters TV junkies out there, know that yes, in last Friday's episode, we got to Zulu, the end of the line. So, what are we going to do now? Well, we'll keep up with the educational efforts. We'll present nautical terms and their definitions. Each episode will now be brought to you by a word of the day rather than a letter, which is probably a little more Barney than Sesame Street, but we'll go ahead and also spell them out for you using nautical flags. So, with that, we wrap up this episode of the Boaters TV. We'll see you back here on Wednesday, and until then, safe and happy boating to you all. Take care. This episode of the Boaters TV has been brought to you by the word aback, a condition of sail when the wind pressure is on the leeward or forward side with sails backed or trimmed to windward, also known as backwinded.